Politicians say red light cameras save lives. The red light cameras are less about safety and more about corruption and profit. Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. You know, some people love having their pictures taken, some people don't. But no one likes having their picture taken by a red light camera. Except for vampires. They're not really worried about it. For those of you who don't know, red light cameras are those funny looking cameras that hang on traffic lights. They take pictures of cars that run red lights. When the light is red, the camera automatically takes a picture of the license plate if a vehicle goes over a sensor in the intersection. Then the picture is sent to the registered driver, along with a ticket. In the U.S., fines can range from anywhere between $50 to $500. Red light cameras aren't in every city and state. Only 23 states, plus Washington, D.C., have red light cameras. Wait, Florida has red light cameras? That's a surprise considering how driving laws there are really treated more as suggestions. Other states have limitations or even bans on using red light cameras to issue citations. Red light cameras are meant to discourage drivers from speeding and running red lights, or so we're told. On paper, this means fewer deaths caused by reckless and unsafe driving. Although if they really wanted to reduce reckless and unsafe driving, they would have a maximum driving age. Looking at you again, Florida. But it turns out all red light cameras are doing is giving a green light on cash.
On a recent night in South Suburban Crestwood, you'd be excused for thinking there was a party popping.
This is the first time she's ever got a ticket in her life.
A gravel lot filled with cars, a line stretched outside the building.
I got 2 tickets for running a red light violation.
But this isn't a neighborhood hotspot, it's red light camera court.
I got $700 worth of tickets in here within 2 months.
This is where drivers convene once a month to fight their fines or seek forgiveness after SafeSpeed's cameras caught them allegedly violating traffic laws in the suburb.
This is just a way for the village to make money. It's gotta be.
What? You think just because money is involved, someone's making profit? No way. They're just trying to protect you from all those new invisible Teslas out on the road. This is a matter of public safety. There's actually an entire business built around red light cameras. Corporations like Redflex and SafeSpeed supply local governments with red light cameras and maintain them. Of course, these corporations have to get government approval to install their cameras, so there are tons of sketchy, under-the-table deals between businessmen and politicians. According to Chicago attorney Patrick Keating, the red light camera programs are really the result of an unholy alliance between for-profit companies and cash-strapped municipalities, and they combine the worst of both. I'll explain how after the break. Welcome back. Like any business, the red light camera industry is motivated by profit, so companies are incentivized to get as many cameras installed as possible. And they're greasing the wheels with good old bribery. Take the case of Australian red light camera company Redflex. In 2014, Redflex got in hot water after it was discovered that the former deputy commissioner of the Chicago Department of Transportation accepted bribes from Redflex starting in 2003 in exchange for contracts. That's the most upsetting story involving tons of cash and red lights I've seen since Squid Game. The bribes included up to $2 million in cash, a new Mercedes car, and an Arizona condo. That's insane. I mean, why would anyone in Chicago want an Arizona condo? Redflex was Chicago's red light camera vendor from 2003 until 2010, when the Chicago Tribune exposed the bribery. In response, Redflex fired its executive vice president, Aaron Rosenberg, and sued him. Because how dare you get caught? Make bribes. In its lawsuit, Redflex accused Rosenberg of a protracted and covert scheme to misappropriate company funds. But Rosenberg fought back, saying he was simply carrying out orders and that other company executives also participated in bribery. Wow, who would have thought that an employee from a company whose sole business model is snitching on people would snitch on people? One of those executives Rosenberg accused turned out to be the CEO, and then she went to prison. I know what you're thinking. Political corruption in Chicago? Shocking. But Red Flex's bribes went beyond just Chicago. According to Rosenberg, 13 other states had been bribed as well. As you recall, 23 states have red light camera laws, so Red Flex was probably more mad that Rosenberg wasn't able to bribe them all. And Red Flex was just the first company to get into hot water for bribery. These days, Chicago-based company SafeSpeed has been front and center in the city's red light camera scandals. Many Chicago officials went balls to the walls for SafeSpeed by keeping the city from banning red light cameras, all for thousands of dollars in bribes, of course. You know, because when everyone talks about how unsafe Chicago is, they mean all the people running red lights. It wasn't just Chicago city officials. Officials in the Chicago suburbs also got caught in bribery schemes. Multiple bribery schemes. Even the co-owner of SafeSpeed was in on it. Of course, SafeSpeed keeps saying that it's shocked and saddened, and I, for one, definitely believe them. Despite all of these scandals, SafeSpeed is still in business. The company has managed to keep its distance, claiming that all the people involved in these bribes were working on their own. Federal law enforcement is keeping a close eye on the company, though. Probably for a handout, considering how this story is unfolding. In the meantime, revelations of bribes connected to SafeSpeed just keep popping up, including a mayor who told a SafeSpeed official that he was making efforts to increase the number of red light tickets in his town. That's the same town from the news story I showed you earlier, where all the people were lining up to fight their red light tickets. And then there was another case where a state senator promised to stop legislation that would require studying red light cameras. Why would the red light camera industry try to shut down research on the very thing it specializes in? I'll tell you after the break. Welcome back. The red light camera industry has been caught bribing a gazillion politicians. And I'm just talking about Chicago. But at least red light cameras are keeping people safe from traffic accidents, right? Well, evidence says otherwise. Study after study from state governments and universities show that red light cameras have in fact led to more collisions. Yeah, that would explain why SafeSpeed didn't want studies done. It's kind of like how candy companies wouldn't want dentists studying how candy leads to cavities. Except for that 1 out of every 5 dentists who's totally corrupt. One of the most common reasons why red light cameras lead to more accidents is because cars quickly stop when yellow lights turn red to avoid getting fined. This leads to a lot of rear-end crashes. And many of these red light cameras aren't even necessary. According to a 2017 investigation by the Chicago Tribune, the majority of intersections that had red light cameras at the time were low to minimal risk intersections. In fact, some of them hadn't even had red light related accidents for at least 3 years prior to installing the camera. But the Illinois Department of Transportation approved cameras in low risk areas regardless, saying they're still dangerous. I guess because of all the invisible Teslas? Well, no, apparently the Illinois Department of Transportation's threshold for what's dangerous was changed in its policy to include locations where a mayor declared a perceived problem at a corner, no matter what the data said. And I'm sure all the bribes to mayors had absolutely nothing to do with that. But as far as safety is concerned, if people really want to reduce traffic accidents, then they should be implementing longer yellow lights. According to a 2004 Texas Transportation Institute study, increasing yellow lights by just 1 second leads to a 40% reduction in crashes. But that's a huge no-no for the red light camera industry and politicians, because who cares about safety when profit is on the line? Rather than improve safety, revenue-hungry cities are messing with traffic lights to write more tickets. According to a 2011 investigation by WTSP-TV, Florida quietly changed the duration of yellow lights to be below federal recommendations. The rule change was followed by engineers collaborating to shorten the length of yellow lights at intersections with red light cameras. So research shows red light cameras cause more accidents and longer yellow light times decrease accidents. However, the contracts in place with red light camera providers often specify maximum yellow light times and impose financial penalties if the city lengthens the yellow period. There has been pushback against corrupt red light cameras. Many groups even want to ban red light cameras altogether. But every effort to turn off red light cameras gets a counter response in turn. Turns out local governments are addicted to the money they get from red light cameras. As one activist put it, red light camera revenue is municipal crack cocaine. They're hooked on it. They'll go down fighting before they give up the revenue from the cameras. It's almost like a lot of politicians care more about making money than serving their constituents. No, that can't be. If that were true, then America would be in bad shape right now. And it's doing just great. So what do you think? Leave your comments below. And if you like this show, remember that we rely mainly on direct support from viewers like you. All it takes is as little as $1 per episode over on our crowdfunding website, Patreon. Visit patreon.com/AmericaUncovered for more. Click the link below. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.